I'm here with Phil Labrie, and he's with Whitworth University. I want to thank you, first of all, for joining us today, and also congratulate the university for being a top veteran-friendly school. And this will be featured in our August issue, so welcome to U.S. Veterans Magazine.
Great, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Looking forward to getting to know you and the school a little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and start with you, Phil, and if you could tell us a little bit about yourself, and if you could walk us through your journey. Maybe I know that at one time we learned a little bit about you from what you did from high school to the Air Force and your path that led you there to the university.
Yeah, sure. No. Yeah, so in high school, I kind of joked that I was a well-rested high school student because I didn't put in a lot of effort. And, I kind of just got out there alive, basically, barely. I came to a crossroads of what I was going to do with my life. And the Air Force seemed really appealing, good option for me. And it's one of the best things I ever did. So grateful for my time in the Air Force, for making that decision, really shaped who I am now and kind of like my journey. So I got out of the Air Force in 2003, worked for a while within logistics because that's what I did in the Air Force. And the GI Bill was burning a hole in my pocket, and I decided to utilize that to attend college. And I chose Whitworth. And so I'm an alum as well, and had a great experience at Whitworth, and then graduated with an accounting degree. I did that for about 7 years within corporate accounting, and I kind of just got tired of spreadsheets and reconciliations and things like that, and I wanted something a little more upbeat. So I got hired on by the one of the sheriff's departments and started the police academy. I came to a point where I decided, you know what, this is really not the right choice for me and my family, and didn't continue with that. And then I'm jobless. So now I'm like, what am I going to do? I saw advertised, for the job at Whitworth for my position. It was a brand new position they never had at Whitworth before. And I, you know what, that sounds really interesting. And I kind of felt called to apply for that job. And I did. And here I am now, about almost 7 years later, just really loving this role.
Well, I think it's unique to the school that not only are you the recruiter and you've been in the Air Force and you understand the veteran coming in, but also being an alum. I'm sure you can speak volumes to that. So how does being an alum shape the role in the student recruitment, and what unique perspectives do you think you bring in recruiting new military students?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, I can speak to my experience. So it's really easy to talk about Whitworth when I'm out in the community and speaking with prospective students, because I was a student at Whitworth and a veteran, right? What I always tell anybody I'm talking to is that Whitworth is very relationship based. We're a small school, and that's on purpose. It allows faculty and professors and staff to be on a first name basis with everybody. So you kind of just feels like one big family. I always tell this one story about, I was an accounting major. I was stuck on a problem, and I emailed my professor asking for help. And she said, you know what, Phil, just give me a call. And I was blown away by that because, it was a Saturday, and faculty have lives, right?
Yeah.
But it's just kind of the type of people that Whitworth employ. They genuinely care about students and their success at Whitworth. And so it's really easy to sell Whitworth because I experienced that firsthand as a student. And now, with my position, that's one of my jobs, is also to take care of those military students when they get to Whitworth. Yeah.
You opened up the Military and Veteran Resource Center. That I love the name, MAVRC, MAVRC. And it's a physical space where students can come together, feel supported. I just think even having a place to go to relieves stress. If they have questions, could you expand on that and your journey of how you opened that, why you opened it, and how it's doing?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when I got here in 2018, we didn't have this space, right? We did have a little lounge within our hub. It's kind of our main, our dining hall. It's our hub. And the complaints that I received from my veteran students is they said, it doesn't really feel like a space for us because it was just in a hallway and lots of students were coming through. Non-military students figured out, oh, I can print for free in this little hub, and so it just didn't really feel like a space for our military students. So I kind of petitioned the university to create a space dedicated for our military students. And thankfully, in 2021, they offered me where we're at now. It was a house on campus, on the edge of campus that wasn't being utilized. And they said, if you want to make this your Veterans Center, you have our blessing. So it was really great. The university really supports our mission as well, right? And so they gave me this house, and the name, I don't think I'm the most creative person in the world, but there's another university nearby that has the Veteran Resource Center, the VRC. And I go, that's cool. I don't want to be exactly the same. And I was thinking about it, and I go, okay, we don't just serve veterans, right? We serve current people serving in the military, guardsmen, reservists, their dependents, And so I said, well, what if we add military and veteran resource center? And I put the letters together, MAVRC. I go, wow, that's Maverick. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Like Top Gun people would get that. That's kind of sweet.
I was going to ask you that. That's great.
That's how the name came about. And it was just kind of a cool thing. Anyway, so that's kind of how it came about. This is just a place where we can, a lot of these students aren't your average student, right? They've served in the military. They're not the traditional college student, and it can be intimidating. It was for me.
Absolutely.
As I mentioned, I had a pretty low GPA in high school, so going to a university was kind of intimidating. And that's one way that I can also relate to these students really well, because I'm not the only one that has done that, did kind of poorly in high school, joined the military, grew up a little bit. So I can relate with students. Some of these students are similar boats as I'm in.
And that's why I asked you that question specifically, because there's a fear factor with veterans. And to me, I look at you as such a great success story, because when you mentioned that, people have that in the back of their mind. Oh, in high school, I don't know, I didn't test well, but you're not the same person.
Right.
The schools are different. What you've learned and what you're going to learn and how you're going to learn is so different. And I think Whitworth University kind of speaks volumes to that, right?
Yes. Yeah. And it's so great because I'm in admissions. I'm in the admissions department, and I will meet with a student that kind of was in my boat, right? And it's hard to make an admissions decision when you have a 1.8 GPA in high school. Sure. You have no other college. But the university says, we realize that they kind of grew up. They joined the military.
That's
they
right.
have grown, and they'll talk to me and say, what do you think? Is this somebody that we can take a chance on? And usually it's yes, based on an interview that I have with the student. And sometimes we'll say, you know what, let's maybe do a semester at the community college to kind of see, just to make sure, because we just don't want everybody to come here and not succeed, right? Everybody that comes to Whitworth, we want them to be successful. That's really important, right? So anyway, yeah, I don't know if that answered all that.
Again, I love to hear that, because again, I think that's another reason why you were voted as one of the top veteran-friendly schools, for that reason. It's not just to get the number in there. You want everyone to succeed. You recognize their name, you have the center. And then I want you to tell me about the pretty exciting makeover that you got that got a lot of publicity and a huge renovation. Could you tell me how that came about and who that was, and tell our readers about how wonderful that experience went?
Yeah, absolutely. So I learned about, it's the KXLY Extreme Makeover Team. Mark Peterson is a local meteorologist, and he just retired this year, but he's still doing the extreme makeovers. And I learned about it because we're an ice skating family. My daughter is a competitive figure skater, and the Extreme Makeover Team did a makeover at Eagles Ice Arena, which is a local place. And that's where I learned about it the first time. And so when I was given this house, the Maverick, It was pretty rough. It was pretty rough. You know, a lot of really outdated 70s shag carpet, mirrors on the walls, and you know, it's an older house, and it wasn't ADA compliant. That's another one of our goals. Anyway, so I just reached out to Mark Peterson, right? I just said, hey, I remember you from this, and we have this project. Would you be willing to come look at it and talk to me? And he said, absolutely. He came out, we looked at it. I didn't know what he was going to do, like what his thoughts were. But he said, you know, I think we should transform this outdoor space. And they did. They gave us this amazing, beautiful patio. They gave us a sidewalk that's ADA compliant. So it's a great place to, you know, have barbecues and events. We do an orientation every year with our military students when they come to Whitworth. So Mark Pearson, the KXY Extreme Team, Horizon Credit Union, Cole Concrete. One of the owners from Cole Concrete is a neighbor of mine, and you know, I just talked to him about this, and they did all the concrete for free. I mean, they brought in so many, you know, tons of concrete. We had to bring in so much fill, and that was a very expensive job that they did for free. So Cole Concrete, I just got to give them a plug because
absolutely, we'll give them a plug. Absolutely. No, I appreciate that. That's wonderful. Wow, what an experience. Is there anything else that you would like our readers to know about you or the school? Or maybe the recognition, what this recognition means to you from the U.S. Veterans Magazine?
Yeah, this recognition means a lot to us. And, you know, oftentimes, I mean, a lot of schools are military friendly, and I believe that, right? I believe they are, but I feel like it's my mission, my job to not only talk the talk, but walk the walk. You know, we got this designation. Sure. Now we got to live up to that designation and show why we're a military friendly school. And I take that very seriously. That's my job. I need to make sure that every student that comes here feels that. And so that's one of my goals. And like I said, Whitworth is a great university. And so when I'm talking to students, they have lots of options, whether it's our traditional day program or it's our evening program, online grad programs, things like that. I like to point out as well, we are a yellow ribbon school. So for private universities, if you're using the GI Bill, we're a yellow ribbon school. And when I first got here, there were limits on it. There was only like, I think 70 slots, and we only matched up to a certain dollar amount. And I talked to her finance team and explained we need to get rid of those limits. So we are now unlimited. So if you come here with post 9/11 and you have that benefit, there are unlimited yellow ribbon slots, and we have no cap on the match. So that's how yellow ribbon works, is the VA pays half and the university pays half. And so some schools will cap it at, we're only going to match up to $6,000 or whatever it is. We don't have a cap. So if you have that benefit, you're coming to Whitworth and you're not paying a dime for tuition, right?
Fantastic.
So it's pretty great.
Very important. That's fantastic.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Wow, that's great. Well, I'm not surprised by the success of your school, and I could only imagine how much more it's going to get there and grow. And it's because you're at the helm there. And I think what you're doing is outstanding. And I want to commend you for all that you do every day to your students, but all our veterans. And that, you know, on behalf of the U.S. Veterans Magazine, continue the great work, and we'll help spread that news as well.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity to talk with you today. And yeah, we're so grateful. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. No.